Hey, it's Debbie Dairy Bear here, the voice of Zatch Bell, introducing you to the Anime Egotists channel. Glad you could be here. Zatch Bell is glad you could be here. Enjoy!
What's bonkin', guys, and welcome back to the Anime Egotists. My name's Alex, and I'm joined.
Hi, I'm Richard.
That's correct. And when it comes to anime, we've talked about good episodes twice. We've talked about bad episodes twice. But then you get the episodes where it's like, I understand why people don't like these episodes, but I still like them.
Exactly. So we decided to create our kind of guilty pleasure episodes.
Yeah. Whether these episodes are completely stupid and have nothing to do with the plot, or whether they have something to do with the plot and things just go terrible, we look and it's like, maybe they're not good episodes, but we still find ways of enjoying them. There's not a whole lot more to it than that. Just guilty pleasure anime episodes. Let us know what your guys' are. Would you like to start us off?
All right. So my first one is a 3-episode arc. It's the Dungeon Dice Monsters arc from Yugioh.
Okay.
You knew this one was pretty much going to be on my list. I understand why some people would really not like this. It's kind of in between the two big arcs that start off the series and dual or the Duelist Kingdom and then the Battle City tournaments. You got Joey, who's kind of proven himself throughout the first series, losing to somebody who's not really into duel monsters and then being put into a dog costume and abused the entire time. But I just love the Dungeon Dice Monsters concept so much that I kind of wish it was more easily accessible than it actually is. And they only did like one set and then completely shut down production of everything. So yeah, you can't actually play it that well.
Yeah, and now Rush Duelers know how it feels. But I do understand to an extent the pure silliness of this episode and how it's like, oh, I have this new game that happens to have a lot of the same cards and abilities as the actual Duel Monster. I do understand it, and I do like it to an extent. I think the only problem is just outside of it, like when they released the Dungeon Dice Monsters game, there's like a Game Boy game of it, and I have no idea how to play it. If there is a tutorial, I have not found it.
I've been told it. I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it just doesn't look good. It's kind of it looks like a Game Boy Color game thrown together on a Game Boy Advance game, and the combination is just not there.
That got ported onto the Switch, and I still don't think I ever found the tutorial for it. I'm like, okay, this is low-key kind of inexcusable. And then Duke becomes friends with them, which is cool because he learns it's like, oh, because you ruined my chance at Pegasus making my game. Even though in the manga I'm pretty sure you had something to do with the death of my father and he wants revenge, which is a far more compelling narrative. But for what it was, Dice Monsters, I kind of get it.
Yeah, listen, I had to put it on there because I know some people really hate, like, especially like what happens with Joey and all that. So, but overall, this little 3-episode arc is one of my favorites, and I've watched it. I've watched it separate from the show, so that's why I had to go to it.
Yeah, look, as long as we don't get the Dungeon Dice Monsters world and Duel Links, I think we're going to be okay.
All right, so your first one.
All right, so since I didn't mean for my list, I did mean for my list to start off this way, hey, but I didn't think you'd be bringing up a Yu-Gi-Oh one, so I guess I'll do mine. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode 36, Sibling Showdown.
Okay.
So at this point, our main characters are kind of going through, I guess, a tunnel of some kind, and they're trying to escape the school they're at, because Yuga lost the duel. The main character, lost the duel, and he agreed to. It's basically, hey, if I win, you do what I want, but if you win, I'll do that sort of thing. So he said, so the girl Asana said, okay, Yuga, since I beat you, you guys have to transfer to my school instead of the one you're at, which I still don't understand what the point of that was, but they're going through the cave that was by their school, that was by their new school, because they're trying to find a way of realizing what's going on with the bad guys of this arc. So Oh, as they're going through, ooh, there's a guy named Gallon who's working alongside Asana, who's honestly a pretty nice guy. He trips and falls, and one of the characters, Rain, runs over and catches him. And he said, "I'm supposed to stop you guys, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I'm just too exhausted." And he says, "I have to keep fighting. I have to keep fighting." So Rain, even though she's on the side of our hero, she says, "I'll fight in his honor." I'm like, what? It, it, because her stance is, my family has always said we're going to fight for the people who can't fight for themselves. It sounds really noble. Unfortunately, it's kind of not because Gallon says, "I have to keep fighting." But Rain doesn't hear that. Rain hears, "Rain, I need you. Win for us. Fight for me." Because Rain's shtick is that she's a hopeless romantic and she hears whatever she wants to hear. So it's like, okay, sure. And her brother Reno's like, "Okay, let me duel her. She's my twin sister. I got this." Yes, and the whole time Rain's thinking to herself, "I have to win for Gallon, but maybe I also have to win for Yuga. I don't want them fighting over me." And Reno's like, "They're not fighting over you. Nobody feels this way about you. You it's just your stupid visions." It's a silly duel, but at the same time, it does show like Reno cares about his sister and wants her to be okay, but he also wants to protect her from herself because she's apparently totally insane.
Yeah, it does sound like she's insane. And all this to get him to transfer schools?
Yeah, so yeah, the whole arc is weird. Yeah, I was supposed to only watch a couple of episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens before getting back to another project, and then I'm like, oh, 30 episodes have passed. Nice. That's that's not good, is it?
Yeah. I've heard such mixed things about some of the newer series of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if I could ever actually sit down and watch them.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens knows what it is, and that I will give it credit for. And it's weird because I thought Rain and Reno were going to be some of my least favorites, and now that I'm low-key like, oh, they're kind of actually interesting, nice people. Well, because Reno's like, "I actually think Rush Dueling is really good because everybody seems happy with it." And Rain goes, "Well, I don't think Yuga's that great because he's always running in the halls and sleeping during class, and then he's helping people and making them smile." And Reno's like, "It sounds like you have a crush on him, but I don't know." The whole silliness of the episode aside, it does show that Rain's willing to stand up for people who can't fight for themselves. And Reno's like, "Look, you're my sister. I love you. But good God, can you settle down for 1 second, please?"
Yeah, she does sound like insane, but I can see why you would also like it because that sort of insanity I've seen on some of your lists before, where it's like that's just entertainment
Yeah.
value as
Yeah.
well.
Even when they say, "Yeah, you have about 73 journals of your romantic interactions, and some of them feature Yuga," and Yuga's like, "Wow, that's a lot of journals." I'm like, "Yuga, you're not going to address this? At least at the very worst, let her down gently." No, just okay. Hey, he's so dumb, but I kind of love him for it.
It I see. I can see why this is so entertaining. It sounds like it's the perfect mix of crazy.
Yeah, and shockingly, it dealt with the plot. But that I don't have more. I don't have more than that. I wanted to have a GX episode on here, but I'm like, no, this show is captivating me too much, for better and for worse.
Yeah, there are quite a few GX episodes that could have been on here.
Moki Moki. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, what's your next one?
So this is one that I just had to put on here. It's been my favorite episode since I was a little kid, and I would love to go back and watch it on an occasion. It's the Bridge Biker Gang from Pokemon.
Oh, jeez.
It is got nothing to do. It's in the original series. It has nothing to do with Ash going to get his badges or anything. Nurse Joy asks him for help because there's a sick Pokemon. He has to try to make it across this bridge, which is guarded by a gang of trainers on bicycles that are all like punk rock looking. You find out that Jesse and James have history with this biker gang, and like it's kind of one of those first episodes that you get some backstory for Jesse and James and like learn a little bit about them before Team Rocket, which is hilarious.
Big Jess and Little Jim. I still remember that.
And James was the only one who had training wheels still on his bike. And then uh like I understand that some people may think it's bad because like biker gang is like all punk throughout the entire thing until they find out that Ash is trying to help a injured Pokemon, and then they instantly turn into like these big softies and offer to help and escort them and all this. It's just like this weird combination of everything, but I love this episode. I loved it as a kid. I still really like it, so it's one of my guilty pleasure ones.
I think I still have it on VHS somewhere, so I definitely can agree. Hey, and it is all the more hilarious to see. It also kind of just shapes that Team Rocket have a little more to them. And it's honestly, if Team Rocket had stayed a biker gang, I probably would have. They low key might have been a little more successful.
Exactly. And it's just I don't know. This episode was always one of my favorites growing up, so I had to put it on this list.
Yeah, that said, these guys could beat the snot out of the Rust Syndicate.
Yeah, yeah, they probably could.
I'm still mad that he tricked Tawny, but that's another point for another day.
Oh, I don't know if I've gotten to that part. I haven't had much time to play.
Yeah, but I can co-sign. Still, what? Not an episode I think about that often, but when someone brings it up, I'm like, oh yeah, that episode.
Exactly. That's why it's not everybody's cup of tea or favorite, but it's one of mine.
Yeah. Oh dang, a Pokemon episode's on my list next. Oh geez, this is starting to get scary.
All right.
Pokemon Advanced Challenge episode 68, a double dilemma.
Okay.
So the Ash, May, Max, and Brock all get to Petalburg City, and the town starts swarming May and Max. It's like, oh, you're Norman's kids. You guys are the best. Let's see. And May shows them her ribbons, and there are only two of them. But they're giving her an inflated ego about because they keep saying, oh, you're Norman's kid. You're the best, which low key is some pretty sneaky storytelling considering how overconfident May gets later. But that's the good part of this episode. Yeah, the next part of it is Ash getting challenged by a bunch of people saying, you're not good enough to challenge Norman, and Ash beats all of them, and they still think that he's a bad trainer, which, look, I will make fun of Ash Ketchum, I will dump on him, but if he's destroying all of you, I think he's ready. But the whole time, there's all Team Rocket are also dressed up as Norman, Caroline, and oddly enough, Max and May get disguised by by Wobbuffet and Meow. Oh, but everyone's like, oh, wow, May and Max are back. Oh, May, you look like you've shrunken a bit. I'm like, no, that's clearly not. It's one of the worst disguises by Team Rocket, and it still manages to fool people. But the whole time, they're like, May, you have to go beat up this punk trainer, who it turns out is Ash. The whole episode is ridiculous and kind of makes you realize, yeah, the city of Pellberg, these are awful people.
I vaguely remember this episode, and it's specifically once you said the uh Boba Fett disguised as May and uh Max is Meowth. I instantly remember what it was. That
I even remember Meow. I think Meowth is dressed as May, and he goes at one point, "I knew I should have been Max." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that would have helped." Oh, but
oh,
the worst part of this episode is that they're still glazing Norman throughout it. And then, oh, one of the I love Pokemon, but I think I heard one of the worst lines I've ever heard from a Pokemon episode in this because when Team Rocket's disguises get foiled, the whole town gets shocked, and one character has the gall to ask the question, "Who the Pokemon are you?" And I'm like, you couldn't say heck. You honestly just couldn't say who the heck are. So Ash saves the day, and they're like, "Oh, we don't like you, but we like your Pikachu." And I'm like, "Okay, burn this whole city to the ground. Burn this whole everybody. No, you all suck. We're taking May and Max with us. You all collectively suck." I will fully admit it's probably a bad episode, but I can't help but laugh at just the utter insanity of it.
there. All I remember is that pretty much from Johto through all of Hoenn, there are so many of these filler episodes that have nothing to do with the plot and are perfect because of it. Like they're just that hilarious, like it's that random encounter with a one-off Pokemon or Team Rocket doing something stupid.
Yeah. And the very next episode is the Norman Caroline anniversary episode, which is pretty much just as ridiculous. But I'm like, no, like I said, at least that ended with Norman and Caroline being like, hey, we still love each other. While this one ended like, seriously, bring back Charizard. Whatever happens with this town happens with it. What it's fine because even Brock's like, they were a lively group of people, and it did lead to May's overconfidence arc, but it's still a hilariously dumb episode.
Okay-san, as I said, I vaguely remember the plot of this one, but when you started mentioning them dressed up as Norman and all of them, it clicked, and it's like, oh yeah, that episode.
Yeah, everybody hates this episode, but I'm like, it's so bad it's good for me. I can't fully hate it, but I don't have much more on it.
All right, so my next one.
Go for it.
Well, kind of speaking of disguises, this one, I know it's a bad episode, but it is, from what I remember of it, it is one of those real so bad it can be good somewhat. It's Naruto episode 161, The Appearance of Strange Visitors.
Oh God.
It is literally the episode where these two like characters show up as like I pulled it up just to have the picture. And
Yeah,
this
that's Rock Lee and my guy.
yeah, exactly. And the fact that it falls into that Team Rocket-esque disguise thing with Naruto actually believing that it's Rock Lee and Might Guy throughout the episode. It's just the combination. And uh they just the fact that Naruto doesn't realize that it's not them is just it's perfect. It reminds me of Pokemon so much. It's like, oh,
Not only
that is
that, but every time they are floundering at something, it's like, why are you doing it that way? It's like, well, of course we're doing it this way, eh? But we have to do it this way because it helps with our training. And Naruto's like, oh, I'll do it that way too. Because in all honesty, not a lot of people can do what Rock Lee and my guy do. Because as much as I love them, they're both sociopaths.
exactly. I mean, running 1,000 laps around the village in on their hands in at midnight after doing 2,000 push-ups.
I also remember they summoned the giant slug, Lady Katsuyu, and they have to clean her, give her a bath or something. And look, Katsuyu seems like one of the nicer summons, but at the same time, I'd be like, you summoned me for this? There was nothing. What if some. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. I don't get that much screen time anyway, so it's fine.
But yeah, but it's a completely pointless filler episode. But it took me a minute to remember that this episode existed. But as soon as I did, I'm like, oh, this episode for some reason. And there's so many bad filler episodes in Naruto that even though this one is pretty bad, I still enjoy it.
Yeah, and I have one on my list, but I don't want to keep doing the same anime back to back. But yes, this is one of my more favorite dumb episodes because I don't even feel like my friends watch this. I'm like, you're still watching Naruto filler? I'm like, yes. You gonna stop? No. Is it good? Eh?
And I could see this being on the Rock Lee show almost like
Yeah, no, no. This episode's a little too tame for the Rock Lee show, and I say this as someone who, like, they would have found a way to make the episode even more ridiculous, and I don't know if I mean that in a good way or not.
I could see it almost being like they just change it instead of Naruto falling for it, it's Neji, and then it's just absolute chaos because it's Neji who's
Or
falling for it.
or somehow Rock Lee falls for it. It's like, oh, it's Rock Lee. No,
Then who am I? And he's trying to rip off a mask or something the entire
it would.
episode.
Yeah. That's the never say we can't ride a Rock Lee episode, but once again, I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah. So once I remember this episode and I remembered watching it multiple times before, I was like, it's kind of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I can co-sign. As bad as it is, I do get a kick out of it.
All right. So your next episode?
Soul Eater episode 32, Legend of the Holy Sword 3, The Academy Gang Leader's Tale.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, so okay, first of all, I want to acknowledge it took me a very long time to realize Soul Eater episodes usually are questions. That's the title of the episodes. It took me a minute to realize that, in all honesty. Hey, and this is the third episode of Excalibur being a little shit. So, so we meet Hero, who's kind of this kid who's picked on a lot by a lot of the other it's so and he decides to take Excalibur and he whoops Killick, Blackstar, and Kid. Two of those I'm fine with, but it low-key kind of ruins Killick because he doesn't really do anything in the series, not even in Soul Eater not, but if you can believe it. But the whole episode is just about him going through Excalibur's all of the tests to become Excalibur's Meister, and the whole town pretty much going crazy and resenting him over it. And even to the point where people are it even gets to the point where Mock is like, it's okay. Hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Ox. He's gonna get sick of him eventually, and then he doesn't for the foreseeable future. So I appreciate you trying to cheer up Ox, Maka, but it didn't work out for you.
No, I yes, any of these episodes for me would have been perfect with Excalibur. I debated putting one on my list, but I decided not to at this time. But just and his perfect song about himself.
Yeah, and then it gets to the point where I don't know what everybody in the background is low key my favorite character because when he starts talking, everybody, all the faceless characters just go lame, or they'll go, "Seriously, what's your problem?" It's just like I love how everybody's in sync about this. And during it, you see Excalibur's home, all the elves, all the elves are getting drunk, celebrating he's gone. I'm like, I'd like to think the DWMA probably did the exact same thing. It's just like, hey, well, most of you probably shouldn't be drinking, but you know
Here you
what?
go.
Go for it. Right, here, Richard, get the eggnog. Alex, get whatever it is you drink. I don't know. I'm like, game. I'll be back.
Exactly. Excalibur's episodes are always, to me, always really entertaining. So just and the third one, uh, yeah, I see it because this one takes place is like the only one that fully takes place at the DWMA. The
Yeah,
others
and
all take place in that cave.
yeah, and not to mention, I'm pretty sure this is right around the time like Medusa's really starting to reveal her true colors. So it's like, low key, we should probably be focusing on Medusa, not Hero, who I don't think we ever see again after this. I can't look as much as I roll my eyes at Excalibur. I'm not gonna act like this episode isn't hilarious at time. I'm also when they all want to fight him at the beginning, and Patty calls him a stupid alien. I'm like, you know what? I don't know what he is either, so I'll just say he's an alien. Patty, you get 2 points for that.
I'll co-sign. I love these episodes though.
Yeah. And then he fires Excalibur because he starts sneezing, and Hero hates sneezing because Vince McMahon wrote this episode, I guess. Anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got for Excalibur.
I forgot that was the reason. I knew it was something hygiene related, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, just simply because he thinks sneezing is the grossest thing ever.
Mm-mm. All right. So my next one.
Please.
All right. So I put Fairy Tale episode 167 on my list. I don't I couldn't see if this one had a name. I'd have to look it up again to see if it did, but um pretty much this one is in the middle of the Grand Magic Games. We've got pretty much the uh big focus of this episode is I believe just the making up for the fact that Urza completed a trial by herself and they are freaked out about it.
Episode 167, you said?
Yeah.
100 versus 1.
Okay, so it's kind of half filler, half not, then I guess. It's hard to explain why. The first half of the episode is Urza's battle. She's pretty much they're all every team is supposed to submit a person to go into a kind of maze labyrinth and fight monsters, and the number of monsters they fight equals the number of points they get. In the first half of the episode, Urza kills all the monsters by herself. So nobody else gets points. So in order to figure out the rest of the ratings, they pull out this magic tester. And at this point, there's two fairy tale teams, and the rest of the other six teams are all represent one guild each. Well, they all go. Then it becomes Kana's turn from Fairy Tale Team 2, and she busts out the most powerful spell that the first guild master ever created, and like destroys the thing, gets a perfect score, and everybody's like turns and looks because the first guild master can only be seen by Fairy Tale guild members, and she's like, "What? I wanted to give her an advantage." Just sitting there. It's just an absolutely hilarious moment because Kana's been drinking, she's drunk, she launches this most powerful attack, blows everything out of the water, and I just love it. It's a moment of like focus on somebody who's not a main character, and it's like she shows that, oh, by the way, I could kill you all if I wanted to.
Yeah, it low-key reminds me of the underwater temple arc of Black Clover, where it's like everybody has to go up against an enemy, and we see a couple of fights, but we see Vanessa just walk away, and she's like, "I won." I'm like, "Oh, we don't know Vanessa's power level all that, but she's not a main character, but it's still cool to see how she's able to handle it. Also, she drinks seemingly just as much as Kana does.
Yeah, has a barrel of alcohol with her at all times.
Yeah, I guess alcohol makes you stronger in anime, I guess. But I can definitely see that. Just like, hey, the main characters didn't get the focus, but that's okay. And admittedly, one of the side characters won in one of the more cool, but still admittedly kind of sillier fashions. I get that.
Exactly. And it just I love everybody's reaction to like when they find out the first guild master is letting her use that spell. It's like they're all like, "What?" It's
Run, run,
hilarious.
run!
That's kind of their reaction. It's like, okay, they all take cover before the spell hits while everybody else is just standing there and like it's like a nuclear explosion kind of thing.
Yeah, at this point, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not even sitting in the stands. I'll just be home. I'm not getting caught up in this because I
I,
assume everybody in the stands had to sign a waiver, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
as I said, I think a lot of people really like the main cast, so I think if this moment had been given to any of them, it might be a bit more popular, but this is just one of my absolute favorite moments.
Yeah, I can definitely vibe with that. I understand.
So, and I've sat and watched this episode by itself randomly. So that's why it's a
Yeah,
guilty pleasure for me.
same for all of these, and some of them I'm proud of, and others, well, not so much.
All right. So your next one.
Naruto episode 185, A Legend from the Hidden Leaf, the Onbaa.
Okay, you have to describe this episode to me.
Okay, so Naruto, it starts off with Naruto training, and a little creature lands on his back, and it's apparently called the Onba, and apparently all it says is Onba. So they really want that Pokemon sponsorship, I guess. It lands on Naruto's back, and no matter what, it won't get off. And the rest of the village is like, "Oh, we don't know what this creature is, so you take care of it, but we'll be supporting you just from way back here." But it gets kind of sweet because Naruto actually legitimately starts taking care of the Onba. He takes it on like small tasks with him. He gives it the little fish cakes that he gets in his ramen, which are called Naruto, but they don't call them Naruto in the series, which I kind of get. But it's a silly episode because you see how nobody's willing to help Naruto with this problem with this creature that could probably kill him at some point. But it's also kind of sweet because Naruto's taking care of this animal and doing the best he can with it. And when it grows to gargantuan size and it still sticks with him, it's actually kind of a sweet episode. Only for it to go back with its mother at some point, and then it miraculously repopulates, and everybody in the village has to deal with this creature. And Naruto's like, you know what? You guys can handle this. Bye.
I'm actually like, look at this. Okay, that's how it's spelled. Okay, I recognize it now. I was so confused because I only remember watching this episode once.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, like, because apparently Jiraiya knows about these, because there's a flashback of him and Tsunade as kids arguing, and Jiraiya's like, I'm going to prove they exist. And Tsunade's like, they don't exist. And Orochimaru, as a kid, says, I'm actually betting on Jiraiya with this one. I'm like, oh, why is this the series? Why is this the episode that focuses on Jiraiya and Orochimaru's relationship as kids? This is weird.
Yeah, it is a little bit. They're so normally like how to put it. Jiraiya's always like looked down on and by Orochimaru. It seemed like throughout the series, even when they were considered the most powerful ninja at the time, he still always felt like he was the weakest. Like,
Yeah, and it's weird because Tsunade even says if we don't stop these soon, they could overrun the whole village, which makes me hilariously think that Orochimaru is going to pull up one day, see all the Onba attack it like latched onto Leaf Ninja's back, and be like, you know what, y'all don't need me for this one. I'll go back home for now.
yeah, he's got a whole plan to take over the village, and he postpones it specifically because he doesn't want to deal with them.
Yeah. And also, when I was a kid, I remember, I think this is one of the few times Tsunami said, hey, we have two new Naruto episodes for you as opposed to just one. And it was around the time of my birthday, and we had a couple, and I had a bunch of friends over. We didn't care it was filler. We were just laughing. It's like, anybody else want to see how Kakashi deals with one of these things? Yeah, like it was a sleepover. We all just enjoyed it. So this episode is always going to have a place in my heart. I'm always going to be like, it's dumb, but I can't stop laughing at it.
I can 100% agree to that. I trying to think if I've got any that were related to like that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's gonna. You enjoy this wholesome moment of the episode? Good, because the rest of these, yeah. Let's move on to honorable mentions.
All right. So my first honorable mention, I made an honorable mention because I think a lot of people really like it, but I go out of my way to rewatch this episode over and over again, and it's Let It Flow School Festival from My Hero Academia.
Okay.
So this is in between the overhaul arc and the um first war arc of the uh in the series. And so it's kind of a big slowdown. We've gone from like all out fights, we're waiting for the next set of all out fights, and oh well, we're gonna throw a big concert to make everybody smile for because we've caused so many issues is kind of the whole plot. And the song is amazing in this. I have it on my music. I love the song. I literally will go back and watch this episode over and over again, and it's one of those like if they had canceled the show at this point, I probably would have been like, oh well, and been perfectly fine with it ending right here, even though the story obviously continued.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those. As I said, it's such a guilty pleasure. I've pulled this episode up. I mean, it came out like 4 years ago, and I've watched it probably 20 times.
Yeah. Yeah, especially well to be fair, it's probably a good thing because I from what I've seen of that episode, oh, or at least that little mini arc, they fired Deku from the dancing team. I'm if I don't think this arc would have had a happy ending if he was still on. They're like, you know what, keep dancing. No, no, no.
For those of you who don't know, he dances the way I do,
He
as if he
dances.
has two left feet.
Well, there was that episode of Pokemon where Tierno was teaching Ash how to dance, and it was horrifying. And I'm like, you know what? Main characters just shouldn't dance because it happens with Deku, it happens with Ash. Just don't. Just stop.
Exactly. So, but Let It Flow School Festival, it's just one of those such a nice change of pace from everything else that's going on in the series that you gotta love it. And they do a really good job with the song and all that in it. So
Yeah, I can co-sign. And as many times as people have told me about this moment or this episode, I can't. I can't. I'm not gonna hate on it. Even I'm not completely a monster.
and it gives a lot of the side characters a chance to shine and if they actually dance well.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they do, but I haven't. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so who knows?
Uh, but your first honorable mention?
All right, my first honorable mention is going to be a little bit of a hot take, but like, hear me out. Dragon Ball episode of Bardock.
Okay.
Yeah, the episode where Frieza sends Bardock back in time with a death ball, and then he turns Super Saiyan to save the planet that was enslaved by the Saiyans. What? Frieza should not be having death balls that just go, "Oh, I'm going to send you back to the past." Like, it never fully gets explained. Bardock being a Super Saiyan makes no sense for the lore of Dragon Ball. Chilled is kind of dumb. Everything about this should make sense and feels like more fan service, but at the same time, I don't really care because I get to see Bardock turn Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I really do enjoy this episode too. It's just stupid because of that time travel nonsense, but it also feels kind of nice knowing that oh, he is the legendary Super Saiyan.
Yeah, yeah. Not to mention, and the thing is, I legit did watch the abridged version of this before I saw like the actual. I guess it's not canon, but still. So I thought at the end, when the abridged series, where they said, "Oh, Bardock now reveals it's revealed he's in the past," but the second he wakes up in the canon version, he's like, "Am I in the past?" I'm like, "Oh, damn, he figured it out kind of quick. I would be crashing out over this," but he seems like, "Oh, I'm in the past." Mm,
Yeah, and the fact that I guess I don't know what to call them. I guess the pre Saiyans, whoever the I forgot what their name is.
let me
The
see if I
little
can
like
find it real quick.
They got heads like this big.
Yeah. Still, it's like I said, it makes no sense. And in hindsight, if I was Frieza, I'm like, wait, I can send people back in time with this. I feel like even Frieza would be like, no, I'd rather just kill people because that's low key what Frieza does.
And that seems like that might cause problems if he sends too many strong people to the past. Oh, we killed your forebearer they conceived you, so now you don't exist anymore.
Well,
Oh,
multiverse theory seems to exist in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Thanks for not telling anybody, Bulma. But still, it like I said, it makes no sense. And apparently, this was a film added to Dragon Ball Z for the Connect, which, as good, like I'm happy this exists, but Dragon Ball Z for Connect, even I know how terrible that was. That was. It seems like a make do, a
yeah.
make good.
Oh God, is it whatever babies race is? Is that who it's supposed to be?
Dragon Ball Z for Connect.
No. The race of aliens that
I,
originally inhabited. It's
I
because
have I have no idea. All I know is one of the characters is called Ipana.
mm-hmm.
Ipana, and his son's name is Barry. Yeah, I don't
I
know. Yeah,
I prefer the
yeah,
abridged
it's
version where
ridiculous.
they're all like rappers.
Like I said though, it's real. It's dumb. There's no reason. Like the whole legendary Super Saiyan thing just feels like fan service. But sometimes fan service is okay if it's cool enough, and as long as you don't think about it too much, it's cool enough.
Exactly. This is kind of that perfect balance of something every fan wanted to see. Whether it was the perfect story, it didn't need to be. It was just there to let us get Bardock as a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I didn't need much more.
Exactly. All right. So my next honorable mention. So I put episode one, The Endless Wilderness from Food Wars.
Okay, episode one. All right.
So I mean, it kind of sets up the story a little bit, but I watched this episode over and over again just to kind of look at the food because this is like the big recipe that I've always wanted to try. It's a meatless roast. It's literally just you take a bunch of potatoes, wrap them in bacon, and supposedly it tastes like a you cooked a roast after you cook it.
Is it meatless if it has bacon in it?
Probably not, but it's they call it a meatless roast because it's not like made like solidly made of meat.
Yeah, I couldn't be in Food Wars. They get sick of me saying stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of sets everything up because it ends with him going to get tested to go to the school and all that. But my main focus is that first part, and it's just like I've watched this episode just because I'm like I want to do this recipe, and I think it's in the cookbook you got me at one point.
Yeah, yeah. Somewhat unrelated, I did my best to make the curry of life a month or so ago. I somehow succeeded.
Oh, good, nice. Was it really good?
It was really good, but I think I made it a little too not too sweet, but it wasn't spicy enough. But considering I'm making it for my parents in a couple of weeks, I probably I don't think I need to kill my parents yet.
Yeah, I get that. I the one time I've made or two times I made curry, one time came out really spicy, the other time came out much sweeter. So I got to find the right balance because I liked the spice and it just didn't have it the second time. So
Yeah. If we ever get good at it, we can add croissants to it, like a sociopath.
I do know that one.
Yeah. No, I love Tawny, but at the same time, I'm like, could maybe eat this once, but probably never again. But I definitely understand just being like, look, I like this show. I'm kind of just here for this one scene.
Exactly. So
Yeah, but I can co-sign. So my next one,
go right ahead.
all right. This one's not as bad. Black Clover episode 131, A New Resolve.
Okay.
So Asa and Yuno are returning to Hajj Village just to visit, and Noel and Nero accompany them. Even though Asa said at one point, like Noel offers to fly him because Asa still can't fully fly, but Asa says he just wants to run there because Loki, I think he could probably do it. But it starts off with Noel like a flashback because Noel's driving horribly. And Asa's like, well, you were the one who said, oh, I can help you because I have so much more control over my flight. And you see Noel being all having a big head over it. And you just see Asa have this annoyed look on his face, like there's something about the face he makes that makes me go that makes me think to himself he's thinking, do you have to be my love interest like this? I'm just sick of this tsundere shtick. Please just offer me nicely. But they get there and beats Asta getting there, but he tries to be cool about it. But everyone kind of points out it's like, no, we know you try to be cool, but deep down we know you're kind of a softie who likes to have fun. And they talk to everyone in Hajj Village, and everyone says, "Oh, you guys have grown so much, and we really appreciate you helping us and how strong you've gotten." It sounds like a cute episode, but where it gets to be a little bit of a guilty pleasure is Asta teaches the kids at one point, okay, since you guys are in school, you have to train your bodies. Let's go on a run. And stays behind with some of the girls, and he's like, hey, we want you to play with the kids. And one of the kids is like, let's play house. And and Nero have to be husband and wife. Oddly enough, Yuno's the mom, while Nero has a mustache. And Noelle has to be the baby. And they have a bib for her and everything. And so for whatever reason, Noelle's like, well, since I'm the baby, I guess I have to commit to it. I'm like, no, this is the one time I don't need you to commit. And goes, oh, there, it's okay. And Sister Lily gets in Yuno's face and she's smiling, but she says in a very serious tone, since this is for the kids, I need you to take this seriously and do your best. I'm like, I'm kind of scared of Sister Lily. And Yuno goes, there, little baby. Do you want some milk? Oh, you spilled some ketchup on yourself. And I'm like, what? What show? This is the show I defended for years to My Hero fans. I don't think this is the episode to show them. But it's so silly yet still kind of wholesome how everybody's fully committing to this.
God, I haven't gotten this episode, and I'm now kind of nervous to ever go back.
Well, the funny thing is, as is going full on mob, his spirit Belle, like she's asleep in a chair, but then she looks up and she's horrified at what she's watching. So I'm like, okay, so Belle has to suffer because if I had to see what was going on between and Noelle, I don't know if I could fully handle it. Also, it's kind of scary to know that is a better mom to Noelle than her siblings were, well, siblings to her.
Yeah, but I think anybody is nicer to Noelle than her siblings. So
Yeah, I at least the episode proved that Yuno's gonna be a great mom someday, I guess.
if he's not ruling a kingdom,
Yeah, but and we do get quiet moments where the mage who gave everybody their grimoires is like, hey guys, I'm teaching at the school in Hodge Village now. You get cute moments like that and showing that Asta and really have grown and everybody looks up to them now, especially Asta. And so in that case, it's legitimately a good episode. But some of the more ridiculous parts of it kind of just make me go, if somebody walks in on me seeing Yuna oh baby Noelle, I don't know if I'm going to have a proper response.
yeah, I could see this being one of those awkward moments where you're watching this episode and somebody walks in and you're like, I swear this is like an action anime most of the time.
It's like, this is why you should watch Solo Leveling. I'm like, okay, yeah. Yeah. I do like to think that would every now and then be like, look at Noelle and be like, she's like, what's wrong? It's like, are you okay, baby? She's like, please stop. Please don't bring it up again.
Yeah, I see him like holding it over her head, even though like I see him holding it over her head somehow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Nero's just sitting there with the mustache, like not fully. I don't know what she was doing, but yeah, just the utter silly wholesomeness, but also kind of ridiculousness of this episode.
Please tell me it's a ridiculous handlebar mustache.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
I'm not saying that just to make you happy. It is a silly looking mustache, like stereotypical looking mustache, and she's just sitting there, and it's like, I admire her for her commitment.
Nice. Okay. I think that makes up for most of that. What's happened in that episode, just to see Nero with a big handlebar mustache.
Yeah, but let's move on while I still love Black Clover for what it is.
All right. So my next honorable or my last honorable mention, right?
Yeah,
Are we there?
yeah.
Uh, I have it's could be between two different episodes because it's the series got remade. It's Space Battleship Yamato, either the original or the 2199 episode 3, which is the floating continent. So pretty much they've launched from Earth. They're on their way out of the solar system. They've tested the uh, wave motion engine and jumped to Jupiter's orbit, and they discover that the Gamelons have a base on a literally floating continent in like Saturn's or yeah, Saturn's orbit. And it's just or no, it's Jupiter's. Sorry, Jupiter. Um and it's kind of interesting because they crash land on the island because they're not expecting it. The wave motion engine has issues. I've watched this episode because it's kind of the first time that we get the big weapon, the wave motion gun, which it turns out the humans created. They originally it's kind of hinted that the aliens sent like these plans that included a way to use this special wave motion energy to drive or to like warp themselves really far in space and to fire a weapon. No, they built the gun themselves out of the same engine that we were sent. So they plan to just take out the base and set up their own base on the floating continent. Yeah, they destroy the continent with a single firing of the gun. And it's just one of those moments like, we've managed to create something that we weren't supposed to create, didn't we?
Yeah, when you take stuff like this out of textbooks, like humans need to know that we're the bad guys 99% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just one of those things that I love about sci-fi. It's like, we can it's I listen to several like stories people have created about sci-fi stuff, and it's like humanity. When they entered the galactic stage, they took what we thought could never be corrupted into weapons and turned it into weapons. And for some reason, I love those stories.
It's going to be worse when we all finally find a way to fully live on Mars, which I'd rather not. Leave Mars alone.
Yeah, once we get there, we'll probably end up turning it into a military base of some kind as we start to conquer the galaxy one step at a time.
I'd be okay if we failed at that, but I can definitely co-sign just for the other fact of, we think we're doing the right thing and the continent's gone. Cool.
And they do have like one of those lines that's like, um, how to put it, like, what have we done? What have we created? It's like we've opened Pandora's box and there's no way to close it now, kind of thing. Is the kind of ending line of like the fact that they created this super weapon.
Yeah. I can co-sign. It becomes more of a guilty pleasure the more I think about the world, and that I guess I can understand that. I can vibe with that.
I know it doesn't fully meet the criteria, which is why it's an honorable mention because it does further the plot. It introduces a weapon and all that gets used heavily throughout the series. It shows their progress through making it out of the solar system, but I had to put it on here because I'll watch this episode just because I want to watch the wave motion gunfire.
Yeah, I understand that. I believe there's a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Wave Motion Cannon, so maybe that's where they got the inspiration from it.
Yeah, it's quite possible because this was apparently more popular than I thought it was, especially in Japan.
Yeah, I can go. Yeah, so who knows? We're waiting for the Yu-Gi-Oh Space Battleship if crossover. Just anytime you guys are ready.
Whenever we eventually get around to redoing decks, I'm changing what I was gonna do now.
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, there's like eight Yu-Gi-Oh series. We got time.
All right. So your last honorable mention?
Attack on Titan Junior High Episode 6. Love Letter. Titan Junior High School.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's called guilty pleasure for a reason. Just a heads up. So, when they're all going to school, John gets a love letter, and he doesn't know who it's from, and he starts thinking to himself about all the girls it could be from, having fantasies about it and everything. Keep in mind, it's junior high, but still. Oh, so he's trying to find out who it was, and he sees that Annie, the one of the Titans, has dropped a love letter of her own. So it's like, so it's gonna be Annie. So he shows up in the park with her, and she says, yeah, these love letters are not from me. They are from my friend though, and she screams like like she wails like a Titan, and it's revealed that her friend who shows up is a Titan. A Titan has a crush on Sean.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole episode, for the rest of the part, he's trying to they're trying to explain how do you know each other? It's like, oh, we go to the same cram school. Well, it's just like, oh, so we're just gonna ignore the part that Annie is actually a Titan in the main series, and she's like responsible for killing Levi's friends. Which, yes, I'm still mad about that. No, it's just that she hangs out with Titans and she can speak Titan. Okay, cool. Why not?
Oh God, this is. I mean, it's kind of what I expected because it is in the chibi episodes when like every anime got a chibi series at the same time, but
Mm-hmm.
it, yeah, it just sounds right. And the fact, oh, we go to the same cram school, that also fits.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's every trope in anime, but they seem to be functioning right together, I guess.
Somehow, yes. And Titan eventually apparently Jean rejects her not because she's a Titan, not because like she's not traditionally beautiful, but because she's taller than him. That's the only reason. That's the only that's the only reason.
Okay, yeah,
The weird part is she helps them out in the finale and they might be together, but you know what? With everything that goes down in Attack on Titan, at least somebody's happy.
yeah, and I'll co. It sounds like one of the most bizarre episodes you could pick, and yet it does sound extremely fun.
Yeah, well, you say that now, but I at least laughed at this episode. But my last one, well, I guess we have to hear yours first.
Well, this is one I think you'll be able to talk about as well with me. Um, Goku's Ordeal, Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
This is the episode where Goku and Piccolo get sent by Chi-Chi to get their driver's license.
Yes.
It is just one of those nonsense things. I mean, you get Goku and Piccolo racing each other. That you get them failing their driving test. It's just but it comes in the middle of some of the most serious episodes of Dragon Ball with like we're in the middle of the Trunks arc. It's just one of those things. It's like I love how DBZ Abridged did theirs. It's just you want to go race cars? Eh, I think it's bitchin' is what he
Yeah, he
says.
does say that. I also do love how like she's yelling at Goku, "Hey, you need to get your license. You need to help out more." And Piccolo's here, and Goku just turns to him and says, "You don't have your license either, do you?" And Piccolo's like, "Leave me out of this," because I'm like, "Yeah, even the demon who wanted to take over at some point is still scared of your wife, Goku. I don't blame him."
Nope, don't blame him at all. And it's just I love that uh Goku gets put with this old man who is like can't even open the door. And Piccolo gets a woman who has extreme road rage. It's just it's a magical episode of like the most realistic thing we've seen in Dragon Ball in probably 100 and something episodes. It is just magical. That's the only thing I can call this episode.
Yeah, not to mention the outfits they wear, the clothes they wear are like, yeah, if this had replaced their actual outfits, I wouldn't have complained. Why these clothes aren't available in Sparking Zero or Xenoverse? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I love how there is a line that I remember that's like Goku. They ask Piccolo where he got the clothes, and he admits that Chi Chi gave stuff from Goku's closet, which just means that Piccolo and Goku wear the same size.
Not only that, why would Goku be running around with a baseball cap? And unless it's the baseball episode of Super, which I did contemplate putting on here. I'm like, I've never seen him. You know what? Sure, okay, yeah, why not?
Exactly. So I had to put this on here. It is one of those episodes that I know some people who like watch Dragon Ball if they watch the original series will skip over this episode if they don't want
Nope.
to watch filler. No, don't. It is Worth a watch. It is hilarious. Watch it if you haven't.
I could no words, no notes. A plus episode.
And imagine how bad everything gets. Not bad, but how much more action oriented everything becomes after this. It's just a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Kakarot, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot had a level with driving, and I'm like, this game's not perfect, but I at least appreciate them adapting this episode. I respect that.
Oh, that's good. I haven't played any Dragon Ball Z games lately, so I should look into getting one.
Yeah, it's an alright game.
Uh, so what's your final one?
All right, so I've been hyping up this episode for a while, and I'll just say it. Zatch Bell episode 99. Miss Wriggle's class is now in session.
Okay.
So right around the time Kyo and Zatch get back from Nara, they're going to class. They're going to class. They avoid Naomi and Zatch. And you remember Kyo's teacher who was always trying to get him to fail?
Yeah.
Well, he's trying to get Kyo to fail again and be like, "Pop quiz, what's my cat's name?" And Kyo guesses that his cat is named Marie, based on Marie I think.
Okay.
And he hires a new teacher to make Kyo fail, and her name is Miss Wriggle, and she is well, she's her gimmick is that she's trying to make everybody feel lovesick. Lovesick romantically, I don't know. Lovesick platonic, I just lovesick in general. And the whole episode is just her teaching the class and like poetry and all this stuff. It doesn't sound that crazy, but there are times where like Kyo will be reading a poem and it's like, okay, Kyo, that's enough. Now, what does the poem mean to you? What's the light in the sky? And one of Kyo's friends will say, "Oh, it's a UFO." But no, it's not. The lights of a baseball field. No. And then Kane will stand up and say, "It's a glowing dinosaur." And I'm like, "Kane, shut up. Please shut up." And it sounds normal, but there are also several dance sequences where she's singing about love sickness and teaching. It's for a series like Zatchbell that has a lot of singing with Mamoto singing and of course Fulgore singing. This one took me out. This one broke me because it's a virtually about nothing. And she's pretty much brainwashing all the students. And she even gets Kyo to dance somehow, which is admittedly kind of hilarious. And she wants everybody to write a haiku, and it's like, okay, what's your lovesick haiku about? And Susie writes one and she has to say it in front of the class, and it's about Kyo. And everybody laughs at her for it, for whatever reason, that legitimately pissed me off. I'm like, why are you laughing at this poor girl? Well, and let me tell you how bad it gets for this teacher. She gives Susie an A for her haiku. It's probably Susie's first ever A in her entire life, so I don't want to be too hard, but holy crap.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I know I saw this episode as a kid. I was trying to remember it while we were talking about it, and once you mentioned that there were dance sequences, that's when it clicked like a little bit. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember like the unhingedness of this episode.
Yeah, I was watching on my laptop. And I'm like, I've seen about 100 episodes of Zatch Bell in the span of 2 weeks. Maybe this is enough. But Kane says his poem about a dinosaur. He gets a C minus, which once again, it's actually probably the best grade he's ever gotten. Kyo makes a haiku about what he had for breakfast, and Zatch calls him out and saying he's not lovesick about it because it sucks. And she says Kyo gets an F. Everything falls apart at that. Kyo starts crying, clouds start forming, lightning strikes, a UFO falls from the sky and crashes. And the kid who's excited about UFOs isn't even focused on it. He's like, "Oh my god, Kyo failed. It's the end of day." Susie cries like, "No, I can't get a better grade than Kyo." I'm like, this is so stupid. And the teacher's outside going, "He got an F. Yes. I'm like, okay, somebody report this to you. I can't describe this episode. The only thing it ends with is Kane's poem, which is more of a chant. Kyo, he's our man. If he can fail, then all of us can. I'm like,
What? Yeah.
no, this is I've sat through a lot of episodes. I sat through the Victorine episode. I've sat through this episode broke me the day I watched it because I didn't see it growing up. I only saw it about a year and a half ago or some change. And yet I've watched it multiple times. For this video, I'm like, I have to subject to myself to this insane, asinine episode. I can't. I went to dinner that night just sad, and someone's like, "Are you okay?" No, I just saw Zatch Bell, and it kind of broke me.
And it's supposed to be one of those shows that never breaks me.
Yeah. And the worst part is, before that, we get episodes like Conchaman Fulgore helping Dr. Riddles get over losing Kidda. Oh, you get genuinely good episodes before and after this, but episode 99 is like, no. No. Is it a good episode? No. Is it a bad episode? No. I don't know. I will never forget this episode, so it is a guilty pleasure, even if it makes my head hurt.
And you might go back and watch it again just because you want to feel that pain for some reason.
I guess so. I'm still mad that they all laughed at Susie for writing a poem about Kyo. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Isn't the assignment to write about something you... forget. I don't forget it.
Yeah. They always do that, something like that, where somebody writes a poem about somebody that they love in class and everybody makes fun of them for it. And it's like, oh, well, that's sweet that they feel that way.
Yeah, Kyo, are you gonna say anything? Or no? All right, yeah. And then the UFO fell from the sky. Yeah, so it's a guilty pleasure episode because I don't know what the writers were smoking when they thought, let's write this episode. But whatever it is, I think we all need a kick of whatever it is.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping this was a filler episode from the actual manga.
Who knows?
And that's the problem, is I can't quite tell.
I don't know.
It could be like one of those things that he writes like in between arcs, because he does, if I remember correctly, he does a few like we're in between the major arcs.
Yeah, as long as if Miss Wriggle returns in Zatch Bell too, someone please let me know, because
isn't he a English teacher now?
I think so, yes.
She's the head of the department.
So should we wrap up? So should we wrap up? Should we wrap up this episode?
I think we should.
All right, so friends, what are some guilty pleasure anime episodes for you? And really, any episode that makes you go, I probably shouldn't like this, but I still somehow do. And what did you think of our utterly insane episodes at times?
Yeah, and do you find any of these you feel are more mainstream than we think they are necessarily? I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, also she appeared in that chapter 163. Oh, joy. Great.
So she is canon.
Raikou, you are a twisted son of a bitch, and I love you for that. Please take that with all the respect in the world. But just let us know, guys.
All right.
And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Alex.
And Richard.
And you have been listening to Anime Egotists. Good night, and peace easy.